Hey guys, if you manufacture a product and something goes wrong, let's say a safety concern comes in, a defect happens, you get a customer complaint about the safety of the product, your first instinct is pick up the phone, call your insurance agent, call your broker, call your insurance company, talk about a potential claim on your general liability or your product liability policy, not realizing that product liability and general liability policies have product recall exclusions baked into the coverage. So right away, you might be taken back, you may not have known that, you weren't understanding. And now all of a sudden you have this situation with a lot of costs that could come up or a lot of losses that could come down the pipe, and you don't have the proper coverage. Manufacturers, specifically product manufacturers, are blindsided by this all the time. And we want to make sure that you understand that your general liability, your product liability policy does not cover this type of loss. So today I want to talk to you about what that exclusion looks like, what it means, what it can mean to you in a recall scenario, and what the solution is to protect your manufacturing company against these types of risks. Hey, what's up guys? My name is Mike and thank you for joining me on another video. Remember, if you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that you know the next time I release. We do lots of work with manufacturers. We insure lots of manufacturers, one of our top industry verticals here at the agency. And today I want to talk to manufacturers, and if you're manufacturing a product, what you really need to understand about product recall coverage. I think the first step is to talk about the exclusion on the general liability policy, also on the product liability policy if you have that. And here's what it reads. The CGL recall exclusion bars coverage for damages arising from the withdrawal, recall, inspection, repair, replacement, or loss of use of your product. It's standard language, it's broad, and it's intentional. Carriers want to intentionally exclude this from the liability policy. Liability policies are not meant for a product recall. So what does that mean to you in plain English as a product manufacturer? Well, if a defect or a safety concern requires that you withdraw your product, pull it off the shelves, out of distribution, out of your customer's hands, whatever it may be, your general liability policy is not going to pay for any of those costs. And there's a lot of them. So you do not have coverage for that type of situation under your general liability insurance. Now you might be asking, why does this exclusion exist? Well, general liability is meant for third-party loss, such as third-party bodily injury or third-party property damage. Recall costs are operational. They are the cost of managing a crisis that your product created. Those are two fundamentally different risk categories, and the insurance industry separates them accordingly. Now, this isn't a loophole or fine print in your policy. Some people may say, well, then why do I have general liability? Well, I just told you why you should have general or product liability. Keyword there, liability. This is standard. This is standard industry language. Every general liability policy that's written for manufacturers has this exclusion in it. So it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody who's in the business of manufacturing or putting product out into the market. So what are the costs of a product recall situation? So what happens if your product needs to be recalled? Most people think about it as sending a notification or, removing the products, pulling the products off the shelves. But there's a lot more to it, and the costs rise simultaneously, and that's the problem. It comes from different angles. There's a lot of different things that a manufacturer has to pay for when this happens, and I'm going to go ahead and explain to you what that is right now. So the first cost you have to think about is notifying. I already said that, but who do you have to notify? You have to notify your distributors, your retailers, end users, such as customers. So that's a lot. That's a lot of people to get out there. There's a lot of costs associated with getting that information into the hands of the right people. You have to physically retrieve the product. So that's the cost of freight, the cost of warehousing, coordinating the retrieval of your product. You'll have disposal and rework costs. That can include destroying the inventory, repackaging the inventory, or even retooling the inventory. Now, here's a big one that businesses may not think about. Government agency response and compliance. That includes the CPSC, the FDA, the USDA. Depending on your product and the category, can mean legal fees, filings, and personnel time. Another cost is third-party consulting fees. This doesn't happen often to manufacturers, and if it's never happened to you before, or even if it has, but you realize the amount of depth that it goes into, you're going to have to hire consultants to help you manage the product recall. So that includes the cost of recall management firms, product safety consultants, and legal counsel. Now, when a product's recalled, your customers are going to know about it. Your distributors are going to know about it. Your retailers are going to know about it. So there's some brand damage there. There's some reputational harm. So how do you repair that? Well, that costs money. And that's where a product recall policy can also help with things such as PR, media response, and customer communication campaigns. And finally, the big one, people think about this one all the time, lost revenue during the recall process. Your products aren't on the shelves at that time. You're not selling the product. So it's a huge swing. You're swinging from sales of products to not only taking them off the shelves and not selling, but also all these costs to recall the product that I just spoke about. So that could put your company in a big hole. That's why product recall insurance is really, really important. So none of those line items are covered under the general liability or the product liability policy. Think about how quickly they can add up, reaching 6 or 7 figures really quick. quick. So be mindful of that. Protect yourself, protect your business against that type of loss. Think about your largest retailer or your largest distributor. Imagine if they had to pull your product off all their shelves and you're responsible to pay for it. How are you going to handle those costs? How are you going to keep your business afloat without the proper coverage? Let's talk a little bit about the product recall policy, not getting too much in depth, but so that you understand, if you haven't heard about it before, if this is new to you, it's a standalone policy. It stands on its own. It's its own policy form. It's separate from general liability or product liability. And it has three main sections. The first section is first-party recall expenses. Some of the things I spoke about before that include notification, retrieval, disposal, logistics, consultant fees, and crisis communications. These are your costs, your direct costs associated with the recall, first-party coverage. The second is third-party recall costs. So these are claims from your retailers, your distributors, your customers who lose money because they have to pull your product off the shelves. They can claim that loss, and that becomes a third-party liability for your company. And finally, contamination-triggered recalls. In some policy forms, you can trigger coverage before a confirmed injury or illness occurs, based on a reasonable belief that contamination poses a risk. This is particularly valuable for food, supplement, and consumer good manufacturers, so consider that as part of a well-structured product recall policy. Just like other lines of insurance, in product recall, the goal is to make sure that your coverage is responsive and decisive so that the time is quick and the response times happen so that you don't lose additional reputation, additional revenue. The goal is to make sure you have the financial resources to act fast and act decisively without having to worry about whether the insurance will respond, which in many cases people do, and that's not good. Now, product recall policies, like others, have trigger language. And what that means is, when does the policy trigger for coverage to be provided? And without a well-structured product recall policy, like other lines of insurance, there's different quality. I talk about that all the time on this channel. There's different quality products out there. So you have to pay attention to the language in the policy. It's a contract. Remember, read your policy. We say that every time to understand when the coverage will come into play. Now, there's two types of triggers in a product recall policy. One is narrow and one is broad. Some policies only respond after a government mandated recall. That means a regulatory agency such as the CPSC, the FDA, or any other body has to formally order the recall before your policy activates. By the time that happens, the damage is already done. Better structured policies have a broader trigger, a voluntary recall based on a reasonable belief, as I said before, that your product poses a risk of bodily injury or property damage. That's the type that you want. That's the broad recall trigger. It lets you get ahead of the crisis rather than react to it, and it's super important. But the truth of the matter is that the manufacturers or the companies that come out of the recall ahead or not damaged as much as others are the ones that act quickly, that get ahead of it, that are proactive, that act voluntarily. That's why you see big companies, they're always acting voluntarily. Even if they don't know for sure that someone's going to get sick or there's going to be a bodily injury or property damage situation, before they voluntarily issue the recall, they still do it because they're keeping their company in good standing, they're keeping their brand, a positive thought mindset for their brand from the consumer level, and they're staying safe and user safe by doing that. And those are the companies that come out ahead. That's why the broad trigger is really, really important for any type of manufacturer, especially in the consumer goods space. So you may be asking yourself, I'm a manufacturer, do I need this coverage? Now, if you manufacture a product that ends up in somebody's hands, body, home, or business, you need to consider product recall coverage. And here are some of the industries or the segments within the industry that we find often purchase product recall coverage. So if you're considering it, think about this. Number one is food and beverage manufacturers. That's a huge one. Number two, supplement companies or companies that manufacture supplements. Number three, consumer goods and housewares. Number four, component manufacturers, where the component goes into a finished product. Number five is medical devices and health-related products. And number six, children's products and toys. Now, some of these sub-segments of the industry may be easier to insure than others. There's an application process just like any other type of policy. So that's where you should start, and that's where you should consider what's out there and take a look at a proposal and see how it could help protect your business. So as a product manufacturer, you need to consider product recall coverage and understand that your liability policy does not cover product recall, both from a first party or a third party perspective. Really, really important. We work with manufacturers all the time at our agency. It's one of our largest verticals, segments, niches that we focus on. So give us a call at 858-384-1506 or hello@foagency.com. You can also comment on my videos. I respond to all comments, as you might know. I'd love to hear it. Thanks so much for your support. Remember, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so that you know when I release the next video. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in another video soon.